Live reports on Southwest Washington football come from reporter Bryan Levesque. Check out GSHLFootball.com for more. The Fan Postgame Scoreboard Show continues on ESPN Sports Radio 1080, The Fan.
Bryan Levesque was up at Camas, Doc Harris Stadium tonight, taking in the action as the Papermakers look very much like a number 5 ranked team at the 3A level. Good evening, Bryan. This went according to form for the Papermakers tonight.
Yeah, great win for Camas. Kurt, yeah, they are ranked for number 5. Right now, I honestly think they're the third best team in the state behind Lakes and Bellevue at that 3A level. They played a number 10 Kennedy team in here. You said they got up 35-0. It was 35-7 at the half. They scored 2 quick touchdowns, got up 48-7, went to the running clock, ended up winning 48-14. Tony Gennaro last week threw for 336 yards and 5 touchdowns. This week, 301 and 5 touchdowns. Week 9 game, he threw 3 touchdowns, so he's thrown 13 touchdowns in the last 3 games. Their defense, this 14 points, they hadn't given up more than 7 points in a game since they played Skyview and lost 31-10 back in week 4, their only loss of the season. They look really good. I don't see him losing next week. I don't see him losing to O'Day in the semifinals, who is the number 3 team in state. I see him getting all the way to the finals. I mean, I'm excited.
Well, yes, it should be. You know, the Greater St. Helens League, they've been close a number of times, but could be a big year for them. And both the 4A schools winning. Who will they face next, and how far can these teams go in Skyview and Union?
Well, both of them won. Union, our number 2 seed, went up and played the number 6 team in state, Kent Lake, who was 10-0 undefeated. They led 10-0 at half. They got up 31-0 late in the game. Kent Lake finally scored. It was 31-7 the final. Gabe Rigo had a 60-yard touchdown run and a 69-yard interception return for the Titans. He was twice our player of the week. So they play the winner of Woodinville is playing Bethel. They play tomorrow, so we don't know who they're going to win, but Union will be on the road. So they'll either be up in Bethel, which is south of Seattle, or Woodinville, which is north of Seattle. Skyview took on Kent Wood. Union beat Kent Lake. Skyview took on Kent Wood, who was another good team, an 8-2 team. Skyview won that one handily, 34-7. They get to host the quarterfinals game. More likely than not, they'll play the number 1 team in state in Bellarmine Prep. But another couple of touchdowns by Parker Henry. Here, McDonough threw 3 touchdowns. They looked really good. So, it's great. We got Camas at the 3A, 2 4A teams looking strong. I would not be surprised if Union wins. Woodinville's the number 1 team in the state if they have to play them, and Skyview. Woodinville's number 2 in state, and Skyview has to play Bellarmine, so it'll be 2 tough tests. But I mean, the Greater St. Helens League, you've had a lot of blowouts. Some of our mid-tier to lower teams are not very good, but our upper teams are really good, and they just, they've looked like, you've just played some weak teams, but it's not their fault. Those teams aren't very good, and I expect some good things again next weekend.
Well, we're looking forward to it. You can get all the information, film, video, as well as find out who the opponents are and a complete breakdown from Bryan Levesque and his crew. GSHLFootball.com. As always, Bryan, we appreciate, and we'll talk to you next Friday night.
Awesome. Thanks for having me on, Swag.